So what's going on, everybody? OJ Royber here, and welcome to a pretty, you could say, egotistical tier list. But honestly, I just wanted to do this because we're nearing 250 videos, and I kind of wanted to reflect on myself, on what I thought some S tier series were that I made, or what I think are some downright series that I just had to do better in, or I wasn't really myself. So I hope we're going to go in order, but I have them all set up here, at least the ones that actually were a series instead of just a one-off episode like the presentations, or the presentation. So there's even ones in here where I haven't started editing videos yet. So you guys can also tell me in the comments what you guys thought. And yeah, let's just kick it off. And we have music this time, I hope. So we're starting with the first one, Breath of the Wild. I will be honest, this one, like, this is master mode, I think, for Breath of the Wild. This is where I was like, I need to find an idea to stream. Like, what game should I do for my very first, like, YouTube series? And I was like, I haven't beat Breath of the Wild in master mode yet, so let's do that. This was where I was like, I didn't have anyone yet. No viewers, no nothing. Occasionally, my friend would pop in, but as a normal game, like as a series, it was probably like a C. But for playing it myself, I would put this at a B. You know, it's an okay starting point. It could have been a lot better, but it was an okay game to start off with. And I think next, from my top of my memory, Sonic Mania is honestly a C tier series. Because it wasn't like the starting block. It was just like me rambling on, telling stories, and I wasn't really... Like, the stories were good at all. I just could have made it a lot better, if that makes sense. I feel like I should have, like... Well, not pivoted, but like, tried something different instead of me just playing the game that I already have beaten many times. So it's gonna sit there. Next was actually Cuphead, the first indie game I ever covered on the channel. Cuphead, yeah. This is where some people were to enter my streams sometimes. And I had some anger moments in this one. But beating King Dice, like, second try was magical. Yeah, where to put this? Because Cuphead was also the first, my first, like, stream I posted, or video I posted, that actually popped off. I think it's still like my most watched video, because it's also so old. I'll put a Cuphead. This is, for, by the way, DLC is split for most of these. Like, if DLC came out later, it's split. But I'll put Cuphead at a... For a streaming series, it wasn't that bad, so I'll put it in A. For a game where I haven't been editing, I'll put it in A. Next up was... Let's see. I think I could pull it up. Okay, so let me check real quick. Oh, next up was actually Shovel Knight, the first game, like the actual Shovel of Hope game. This one, I'm gonna be honest, it's like a low B, or actually no, it's a C as well. I wasn't really the best in that series. Well, it's a high C, I'll give it. And by the way, you probably are like, what's a D tier? Oh, there's a D tier in here. But I'll give Shovel Knight a high C. There's not much to say about it. It wasn't really too unique. Or I wasn't really my funny self in that video. Next series is Sonic Origins. I was so excited when this came out, because I was like, okay, this is the game that people are gonna be watching and finding me and, like, sometimes maybe coming back. But it ended up being just me playing the classic games. And I wasn't really... I would say the Sonic Origins days were not the best. The mission modes have scarred me for life as well. I'll just put it at a C tier as well. I just realized most of my older series are pretty bad. But that's why I keep improving. Next one, the original or Minecraft series, the one where I did Origins with. I actually liked the series. Like, it was so simple. I was just playing Minecraft, having fun, trying to experiment with my builds. It wasn't hardcore, so I had to be careful. Some people would come and join and say hi. Like, it was actually a pretty fun series. I was actually myself in that series, and I kind of just went off the walls crazy. But the only unfortunate thing about this series is that it ended because my Minecraft launcher completely died. So, and it deleted all my saves. Because I didn't die, it was just because of a computer failure. So, Minecraft Origins is actually probably an A, like a high A tier. I put it above Cuphead, even though Cuphead did better. Next up, this is around the time where the DLC dropped for Cuphead. The DLC, I'll give the DLC a solid B tier. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good. It's just more of the same that this had. But it was just I just thought that this Cuphead DLC wasn't really, well, honestly, it wasn't really that unique. I expected the DLC to be longer as well, so it was just like, nah. I'll just put it at a B. This is where I was starting to like try. I was like reflecting on myself, like I have to edit, I have to cut this shit down. And speaking of cutting shit down, the first series that I actually did this fluently with was Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is an easy S tier, easy S. It made me. I was just myself in that. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just exploring. I met two amazing people, like a lot of amazing people through this game. Whereas some YouTubers, like viewers who stick around to this day, people, the ones who are watching it, already know who they are. It introduced Steven, which, you know, I mean, I literally have, as you all saw in previous videos, a Steven patch in my house. It's just on my shelf over here, and he's a good boy. And I even have my own Steven now as my little channel mascot. So Hollow Knight is an easy S tier. Story amazing, memories amazing, some rage moments, but that was just because I had to learn the game. P5 did scar me, but P5 will not take away from my rating, which is an S tier. It's nothing else than an S. I'm sorry. All right, next up we have. Oh, next up we have Sonic Frontiers. Honestly, another S tier. Below Hollow Knight, actually. Because Hollow Knight, like, was fun, and it did well for my channel. Like, Hollow Knight, like, kind of made my channel grow, and, well, grow a little bit then. But the most growth I've had in any of these series so far. And it was fun to play, whereas Sonic Frontiers is up there, not because it did very well, but mainly because Sonic Frontiers was the most fun game out of all of these. Like, these two are, like, very close to each other. Like, this is just because, Hollow Knight is good because, you know, again, the growth and the new experience. But this is up here because I've been waiting for Sonic Frontiers for so long, and the game actually ended up being amazing. And it was fun to play with the people who were there at the time. So these two are just sitting comfortably in S, in my opinion. So this was, I think, my channel at its finest, around this period of time. This period of time, my channel was at the peak. Around Hollow Knight and Sonic Frontiers. These games were peak. Then it started going down a bit with Spectre of Torment. The game was fun, but I'll have to put it at a little bit higher than Shovel Knight, because I had some people who watched me for Hollow Knight who still stick around with me. Thank you so much for that, by the way. This is like the section where I'm like, yeah, this right here is this is like the OGs. This is like the toppest of toppest. But these are like, I had fun playing them, but they really weren't like appealing to many people, and I understand it because I wasn't really me, like the best of myself here. So I'll just put it right here. Next up is oh, it's Dead Cells. Dead Cells was great, man. Dead Cells was awesome. Dead Cells was a game that we played right after Hollow Knight. I thought it was going to be the exact same, like, growth that I would get from Hollow Knight. I thought it would shoot me a little bit further. It did, but not as much as I would have hoped, even though I shouldn't hope for stuff like that. It was still a very fun game to play with you guys and figure out. So I'll put Dead Cells at the top of A. Not quite S, because it doesn't really live up to these two, but it's definitely up there. Next up is Minecraft, the second playthrough that we're technically still in. This one was just worse than Origins, in my opinion. Well, it was fun still, but I'll put it in A. Actually, I'm gonna put it in high B tier. High B tier. Because it still wasn't as good as Origins, but Origins died, unfortunately, because of a computer crash. And this one is trying to, like, make up for it without mods. And it kind of just backfired a little bit. But that's just my rating for the Minecraft series. Next up, a controversial one, I think. Terraria. And this was the one with all my fans playing together. And many people joining in from Twitch. I have some very weird opinions about this series because I know some people, most people that I talk to on my Discord, loved this series and want it back so bad. But for me, this series was kind of like, it was fun. It was fun meeting all the new people. It was fun seeing a lot of people wanting to join and playing with everybody else. But to me, when I played this, it kind of felt like people were feeding me with just a little spoon. We're just like, they're like pre-chewing the game for me. Like, I would have loved it if it went in a way like, oh, Roy does stuff, I do stuff, and then the other people do their own thing, but they're kind of like, okay, yeah, kind of have to go over here. It kind of just felt like everything was spoon-fed to me, you know? So, I didn't have the most fun playing this. It was a good series, don't get me wrong. A lot of people did watch it and like it. But I'll put it at right here. Because, like, it was fun for everybody else, but for me, it wasn't as fun as these two, and not nearly as fun as these two. So I'll just put it, like, right there. Next up, oh god. I think next we have Tears of the Kingdom, and this is going to be the first D tier, because one, it was so bad that I haven't finished the series, and I also didn't have a lot of fun in this one compared to Breath of the Wild. I know people love Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that, but people really didn't want to watch me play it, nor watch me actually complete it. So I quit the series halfway through. Well, not even halfway. It was like 10% through, because I also felt like I wasn't the best in that series. I was probably at my worst during this, because I thought it was going to be like a grand return to my first stepping stone, but that stepping stone like knocked Tears of the Kingdom down again, and it's just like, it wasn't the same. So this is the first and only D tier on the list. Sonic Rush, S tier, because Rush was this game where I was like, would people like it if I just went off the wall, like, because people want to, do people want to watch old games, or a game that I specifically want to play? And Rush was just, like, I don't know if people enjoyed it or not, but I think I had more fun recording these than Frontiers, because Frontiers was still around the time where I, like, had to edit a whole bunch of stuff down. With this, these videos were so quick and easy to make. They were fun to make because I just went off the walls crazy with voice acting and talking and loving the game for what it is and how it got me here today. And I feel, and it actually did well on my channel compared to all my other videos. Like, these were consistently watched, except for like a few. One of them being the finale, which is very disappointing. I'm pretty proud of that one. But yeah, this series just did well. It was fun, and it was just easy to make during school periods, and people seemed to enjoy them for it being me. I really didn't edit this one a lot. It was just me talking, and I'm glad people did still like like seeing that. So it's gonna be like a very low S tier. Pizza Tower is next and our last one. Pizza Tower, Pizza Tower, Pizza Tower. I had a lot of fun with this game. It definitely isn't up here, and it also isn't like I would give it the lowest of A tier, because a lot of the people who do watch me already enjoyed it, but let's say it was pretty stressful to make because I didn't know how to make the game entertaining. I didn't know if I didn't know whether I should like let the game do the entertaining or let me do the entertaining. That's why I was always really tired when finishing these recordings or these streams. Sorry. So I'll just give it a low A tier. But yeah, guys, this is my tier list of my own series. This seems egotistical. That's because it probably is. But but it's just more meant for me to reflect on myself on where was I the best, what were the best, and what should I not do again. And this is making it very clear. But this is going to be where I'm going to have to leave the video. There's going to be the FNAF videos are going to be up in a bit. Or I think the first one is already up. The next one is probably going to be another little one. And I'll see you all in the next video. See ya!